Welcome back to the terminal. Today, we're opening Lesson 3 of Module 3, and the topic on the prompt is DTP, Cisco's Dynamic Trunking Protocol. It's the mechanism that lets two switches quietly negotiate whether a link should become a trunk without you having to spell it out on both sides. Convenient? Absolutely. Safe by default? That's exactly what we're here to question. And you'll notice the final command already hints at where we're headed. Switchport nonegotiate. So let's unpack the idea itself. DTP is Cisco's way of letting two ports sit there, exchange a few frames, and decide on their own whether the link becomes a trunk or stays access. No admin input required. The catch is threefold. It's automatic. It's Cisco proprietary, so it won't play nicely with other vendors, and it's enabled by default in a mode that can quietly form trunks you never asked for. That last point is where the security and stability risk lives. So let's run through the modes themselves. Dynamic Auto is the quiet one. It'll trunk if a neighbor asks, but won't bring it up itself. Dynamic Desirable is the eager one, actively shouting to form a trunk. Trunk and access are the hard-coded options. One always trunks, one never does. Though notice that even forced trunk still sends DTP frames. And then there's nonegotiate, which shuts DTP off entirely. The kicker, most switches ship in Dynamic Auto or Desirable by default, which is exactly why surprise trunks happen. Now, whether a trunk actually forms depends on both sides talking. So here's the matrix worth memorizing. Two autos sit there staring at each other, and you get an access port because nobody initiates. Desirable on either side will pull a trunk up against anything except hard-coded access. And watch that diagonal. Trunk on one end with access on the other is a mismatch, the dreaded limited state. The rule of thumb, Desirable is the only mode that actively kicks off negotiation. So in production, we stop letting switches guess, pick the role, lock it in, and silence DTP entirely. On a trunk link, you'd issue switchport mode trunk followed by switchport nonegotiate. That second command stops DTP frames from ever leaving the port. Same idea for access ports. Mode access, then nonegotiate. Hard setting the role and killing negotiation is what closes the door on VLAN hopping and any surprise trunks forming behind your back. And that wraps up DTP. The pattern to remember: convenient by design, risky by default, so hard set your modes and shut negotiation down. Next up in Lesson 4, we shift gears into spanning tree protocol basics, where we'll tackle loops, root bridges, and why your network needs a referee at Layer 2. If this lesson helped, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. See you in the next one.